Hey, let's see functions. Okay, for now, let's assume that this is your home. Okay, just assume. Okay, this is your home. So let's say in your home you have everything. Everything means literally everything. You have a playground. You have a garage. Uh, to repair your vehicles. You have juice center. You have supermarket. Everything whatever you need, dmart and all. So think, if you have everything, even vegetables you grow by yourself. Okay, but can you think such? First thing, it won't be affordable, and then second, this is so unmanageable. You can't handle all this, right? So that's why what we have is, we have our home. Okay, just assume. Okay, yeah, this is our home. Even if it not look, but yeah, just assume. So we have this different, right? We have juice center separate, dmart separate, a repair center separate, a playground separate, right? So that it can be managed. So whenever we need, we go there, we do what we want, and then we come back, right? Yeah. So this is how functions work. The main is like our home, and the functions that we create are like this separate, and we call them whenever we need. That's it. Let's see one more example to know when to use functions and why to use. Okay. So let's say this is an hotel application, and there we have to display the menu. So here is a code to display. Let's say it is about 20 lines of code, and then there is some other work, yeah, some other code, blah blah blah, and then again we have to display the menu. Again that 20 lines of code. Again some other work. Again we have to display the menu. Again 20 lines of code, right? So here there is, you can see a repetition, right? So displaying the menu. So can we use loops here? No, because there is some other work in between that we can't say what it is. Okay, it can be anything. So we can't add this as it is not continuous, right? This repetition. So in this case, to avoid that 20 lines of repetition, we can create a function. We can keep this code in that function, and then we can directly use, let's say the name of that function is display menu, so we can use this directly. And then yeah, this, in this way we can avoid that repetition. And here one more thing is, debugging will be easy, right? If there is a problem in the displaying the menu, then you won't find it in, like, you don't need to go whether it is a problem over here, whether it is a problem over here. No, it will be problem in that function, right? So where that code is written, right, in this function, in this body of that function, you will go and directly see in that function only. Okay, so this avoid at one place only. So this is easy for debugging. Even uh, using function, yeah, because of the function the code will be cleaner, uh, easy for debugging, yeah. So these are the some benefits of it. Okay, cool. So there are types of functions, built-in functions that you have already seen. Printf, scanf, those are come from the library, ready-made, right? Next, user defined, those are written by us. Okay, custom functions. Next, we will see this how there are again types of this user defined functions, how to use it. We will see through the example. Okay, hey, let's take this example. Okay, here what I'm doing is, uh, I'm asking user to enter two numbers, number 1 and number 2, using the scanner. Okay, and then I'm adding the two numbers, and then I'm displaying these two numbers. Okay, 10 20 addition, and I'm displaying, and I'm saying yeah, it's done. Okay, simple, right? So we will see how we can use function over here. We want to extract, separate this addition. Okay. So first, simplest, I will show you. Let's keep all this separate. Okay, this one. Okay. First, what we need is void is the first. Let's say the name of the function is add, and then as you can see in the main right here, it is also function, it is also we defined, right? So it has this body, right? So we have to, yeah, provide this body, and then as you can see int is the returning type, right? Whatever we return. So now, for now, we don't have any returning type. I don't want to return anything. I just want to take two numbers, add it and display it in this function. So I will say void, means there is no returning type to it. Okay, cool. So this everything will go inside it. Okay. Yeah, I will add this. Now, how to use this function? So this is a definition of the function. We have to call that function. To call it, yeah, add. Just use add. Okay. Then now when you try to run, it will give errors because it don't know, right? When the execution starts from main, right? So it sees this add. Oh man, what is this add? Where it is coming from? It don't know because add is defined over here, right? If it is before the main, then yeah, it can be identified, right? But yes, but I want to keep this after the main. Okay. So what I can do is there is something called prototype, means we have to tell before that what are the functions and what are the prototypes, means what is the returning type and what arguments it take. Okay, like let's say we have to tell before, right? There is some add function exists after it. Okay, yeah, and it returns nothing, that it means void, and it don't take anything, that is void. Okay, yeah, that's it. Let's run it. Okay, now cool. Now the add function is called, means it goes here and then it does all this, and then again it comes to here and it will print rest of the state, it will execute rest of the statements in the main. Okay, so let's enter 10 and 30, yeah, it will be 40, right? And then yeah, done, means after the call the all this this main will resume again. Okay, cool, this is simple example. Next, other type is, let's say the taking of the input will be job of the main. So what I will do is, yeah, I will provide over here. I will keep this taking the numbers inside the main only. Okay, then I will provide these numbers to the add function. Okay, number 1 and number 2. So now here the prototype is changed, right? Now it takes two arguments. So what I will do, I will say here, right, it will take integer and integer, two arguments. Okay, now here I have to say, yeah, it's number 1 here and it's number 2 here. It means whatever I pass, this numbers that I took over here will be inside this. Okay, the value of the number 1 will come here, value of number 2, and one more thing, this variable names need not to be same. Okay, this can be a different. Okay, this can be num1, num2. Okay, yeah, you can give any number and you can provide this num1 over here, right? Yeah, but yeah, for now I will keep it same. Okay, I will run it. So let's add numbers. That's 20, 30. Yeah, we got 50. Cool, right? Now this is other type, right? So taking arguments but not returning anything. There is other ways to write. Uh, what it can do is, let's undo this, and what we have is, uh, we want only result in the main. Okay, we want to collect result only. The taking input from the user and adding it will can be done using this add. So to get the return, what I will do is, I'm going to um, yeah, keep this displaying inside the here. For now we will only show this result, addition is, and then we will collect that result. Let's say integer result equals to and this equals to this add. So we have to now the prototype is changed, right? It returns now int. Now initializing int with yeah, here it is void. Here we have to say int and we have to return result. Okay, cool. So what we are doing here, the add function is taking input and then adding and returning back the result to the main. So the main will decide how to display it, what it can do anything with result, right? It can even add something to that result or do any multiplication calculation, etc. So yeah, we'll run it. 20, 50, addition is 80, cool, right? uh, Now one more, yeah, the remaining, as you know, what can be other type. So everything, taking the numbers from the user and then displaying will be done by the main. Only the adding the two numbers will be done by add function. So now the prototype is changed, int and then int. Okay, so here it will be int number 1 and int number 2, right? So number 1 and number 2. Okay, number 1, number 2, number 1, number 2, adding the number, returning the result, and the main will decide how to display it and all. Okay, yes, even this number the main will decide, right? After some calculation it can give that number to this, right? uh, Doing some yeah, work on this, and then it can decide whether to give it add or not. In that case this will be useful. So let's say 30, 40, yeah, addition is done, right? So these are the different ways of the functions. Yeah, so what I want to say is this: return value we have to yeah, we have to display, we have this return value, then function name, parameters, that whatever we want, and then statements. This is the body. Okay, then there are types that we have seen: void, add, without any argue this parameters, without this, right, parameters, and then with void, and then no return type, no return type with our with this parameters, with return type no parameters, and then with return and with parameters. So there are this four, yeah, that's it. Cool.